What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back with a video, and today's video was requested and it is going to be on the Jews of the Dominican Republic, and more specifically the settlements of Jews in Sosua. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about this history in DR, just keep on watching. It has been recorded that the first Jews known to have reached the island of Hispaniola were Spanish. The Sephardic Jews that were exiled from Spain and the Mediterranean area in 1492 and 1497 arrived in what is now the Dominican Republic as a result of a 16th century Spanish policy of sending conversos, or Jewish converts, to Christianity as a result of the Inquisition to Santo Domingo. In fact, some historians believe that during the colonial period, the majority of people living in Santo Domingo were conversos. When the island was divided by the French and the Spanish, most Jews settled on the Spanish side. Eventually, Sephardic Jews from other countries also arrived. In the 19th century, Jews from Curacao settled in Hispaniola, although they did not form a strong community. Most of them hid their Jewish identities or were unaffiliated with the Jewish tradition by that time. Though no organized community was established during the period of Haitian occupation, which lasted from 1822 to 1844, the Jews of Santo Domingo nonetheless thrived. They lived in the capital, Puerto Plata, Montecristi, La Vega, and San Pedro de Macorís. Most worked as exporters of tobacco, timber, and jewelry. The children of most of these immigrants ultimately assimilated almost completely within the local population. Their descendants were among the most prominent figures in the history of the Dominican Republic, including President Francisco Enriquez y Carvajal. The Dominican Republic was one of the very few countries willing to accept mass Jewish immigration during World War II. At the Evian Conference, it offered to accept up to 100,000 Jewish refugees. It is estimated that 5,000 visas were actually issued, and the vast majority of the recipients did not reach the country because of how hard it was to get out of occupied Europe. The DORSA, Dominican Republic Settlement Association, was formed with the assistance of the JDC and helped settle Jews in Sosua on the northern coast. President Rafael Trujillo, the country's dictator, hoped that these refugees could contribute to the country's agriculture and consequently donated land in Sosua in anticipation of a Jewish agricultural settlement. It is also believed that he supported letting Jewish refugees into the country as part of a strategy to encourage European immigration rather than that of Haitians, and also as a way to get back into the good graces of the United States following the Parsley Massacre.
The beginning of the story was a horrible condition in Europe. But I think one of the things about Sosua is that there was light at the end of the tunnel. There was some hope. Those people who were saved lived, I think, happy lives. I was born in Shanghai, China. My parents were refugees there from the Second World War, and we came to the Dominican Republic in 1947.
They left on the last train that allowed men, Jewish men, to leave Vienna.
There was no anti-Semitism or anything. Here everybody could practice whatever they wanted.
At that time, this country had a dictator.
Trujillo, as most people know, was a dictator from 1931 to 1961. He was extremely racist. He could not tolerate black people. There is even a document that he massacred some 60,000 Haitians. However, he was very prone to bring in immigrants from European countries or other white people that might come in order to whiten the race.
Trujillo gave 100,000 visa. Only 700 people came.
So instead of thousands coming, just 700 came because they had to pass a classification process.
I think Dorsa came about because they were a Jewish institution in New York that was trying to save Jews. And after the conference in Evian, where the Dominican Republic would allow Jews to come here, the Dorsa set up a project in which they were trying to finance the coming of the Jews to the Dominican Republic. The community started in 1940.
When they came here, was nothing here.
And when the war was over, many of them actually left. It was a primitive community, but they have houses, businesses, and it was a working community. Had a hospital, had a school, had a synagogue.
About 700 European Jews of Ashkenazi Jewish descent reached the settlement, where each family received 82 acres of land, 10 cows plus 2 additional cows per child, a mule and a horse, and a $10,000 loan at 1% interest. Other refugees settled in Santo Domingo. In 1943, the number of known Jews in the Dominican Republic peaked at 1,000. Sosua's Jewish community experienced a deep decline in the 1980s due to immigration during the touristic boom of Sosua, when most Jews sold their land to developers. The oldest Jewish grave is dated to 1826.
I was never sure in Germany whether my father would come home or whether they would just send the clothes that they killed him. It was no life. I was 14 years old when I went to the Dominican Republic. People asked my father, where is that? And my father's answer was, I don't know and I don't care. It will save our lives. I came to Sosua and I could walk on the street and nobody spit at me. That was the very first time I felt like a human being.
Ruth's uncle escaped a concentration camp and found refuge in Sosua. From there, he sent the family 4 visas. As they left Germany, Hitler closed the country's borders, which is the major reason why just under 1,000 Jews made it to Sosua.
It was October 14th, 41, and the next day it was closed. It was the last train. He didn't let anyone, no matter what age, out anymore.
The family boarded a ship in Portugal. They arrived in the Dominican Republic on the day that would live in infamy.
Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced.
I was born in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and I spent much time in Sosua not knowing its history. As I walked around the town, I could see how Jewish culture is seamlessly integrated into local life.
There was never any prejudice here or anything against Jews. We were always treated as citizens. At the beginning, they did not bring over families. They brought in mostly young males. And later on, they were able to bring some of their family.
Joe Benjamin helps run the Museo Judío Sosua, which celebrates life in the settlement.
There's one exhibit of all the children who were born here. There's one exhibit of the people who had their bar mitzvah here.
Among the many photos on view, Joe points out a personal one.
Yeah, this is me at my bar mitzvah.
The museum also tells how the community thrived after the creation of a meat and dairy business that grew to be nationally respected.
And when the standards for butter were made by the government, they mentioned Sosua butter, not just butter.
Also on view is a photo of the first wedding at the synagogue. And the bride is Ruth, who as a nurse in the settlement married Dr. Herbert Cohn.
Some of the Sephardic Jews still presently reside in Sosua, while others are dispersed throughout the country. The number of known Jews, or those with genetic proof of Jewish ancestry and/or practice Jewish customs or religion throughout generations, are close to 3,000. The exact number of Dominicans with Jewish lineages aren't known, however, because of intermarriage between the Jews and Dominicans over a period of more than 5 centuries. In spite of the Jews' intermarriage with the Dominican people already living there, some spouses have formalized their Judaism through conversions and participate in Jewish communal life, while other Sephardic Jews converted to Catholicism, still maintaining their Sephardic culture. Some Dominican Jews have also made Aliyah to Israel. There are 3 synagogues and 1 Sephardic Jewish educational center. One is the Centro Israelita de República Dominicana in Santo Domingo. Another is a Chabad outreach center also in Santo Domingo. And the third is in the country's first established community in Sosua. The Sephardic Educational Center caters to those Jews who are descendants of the Sephardic Jews that migrated to Hispaniola in colonial times and later. In addition, they also provide kosher meats in the Beth Yosef style and supervise a small-scale kosher bakery. And after school at the Centro Israelita is active on a weekly basis, and a chapter of the International Council of Jewish Women is also active. The Chabad Outreach Center focuses on assisting the local Jewish population reconnect with their Jewish roots, and because Chabad is of the Hasidic Jewish tradition, it is a source for traditional Judaism in the Dominican Republic. In Sosua, there is a small Jewish museum next to the synagogue. On the high holidays, the Sosua community hires a cantor from abroad who comes to lead services. A great deal of research on the subject of Dominican Jewry was done by Rabbi Henry Uko, who had been a writer and teacher in Germany until political conditions and growing anti-Semitism forced him to immigrate. Scholars such as the historian of the Tanabani, Manuel Valera, as well as Dr. Jonathan de Mota, continue the study of Dominican Sephardic and Converso ancestry, as well as the question of Dominican Anusim. So that was it for this video, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick video on this little bit of Dominican history. As always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below, and I'll check you guys in my next one. Bye!